Hi there, my name is Kate and welcome to my channel, Trinergy Awakens Naturally. I just wanted to blast in with a little bit of an energy update. I happened to be checking someone out on Snapchat and was reading and listening to her story, and what she was mentioning was a lot of pain, and unfortunately, as we're ascending, no gain without pain, or something like that, right? Unfortunately, when we're ascending and we're moving into higher consciousness and we're moving into those light bodies and activating all different kinds of parts of ourselves, and our etheric body is, healing and hopefully healing and regenerating and becoming stronger. That's a very intricate process that involves science in a way that we don't understand. We don't have a grip on that. I just know for me personally, I can definitely feel neurologically what's happening, and pain, physical pain, joint pain, phantom pain kind of stuff is very common with the ascension process. Teeth pain, headaches, body aches, unexplained, tiredness, all these just wild and crazy symptoms. But when I was listening to a young woman on Snapchat, and she's talking about it, she goes, I just don't know, and what's going on. It's just so painful, and unfortunately, it really is. In my experience, and other people that I know, identify with the ascension process or higher consciousness in their spiritual journey, when we're going through these really intense lunar cycles and solar cycles, and the coronal mass ejections are huge. The solar flares, when the sun burps, it changes how we respond on Earth, and the sun is very busy right now. We've got eclipse that's coming up. We're in Mercury retrograde currently. Actually, it's starting officially tomorrow, but we're in it, trust me. So any of that kind of return and review, well, when you trade in, you want to get a new car, you trade in the old one, right? And you get a new one. It's kind of like that is how I look at it with these upgrades and activations, is that I have to trade away a part of my physicality in order to get the light body mentality. So it's going to cause some growing pains, literally. It's just going to cause some unexpected pain. And for me personally, this young woman that I was listening to was talking about physical pain, and I have had, plenty of issue with that and still do. However, what I've really noticed the last few days is that puke and pain is really what's more about. My life has been just feeling completely, upset in my stomach, my digestive system. Nothing tastes right, nothing seems right, and, that's what dictates how I go forward with what I'm consuming, is allowing my body to tell me, not that. And my spiritual body, might be confused a little bit about, what did you want to eat again? Did you really want to eat that shit? Or did you want to eat something a little more nutritious spiritually? Milk and honey. Do you want manna, or do you want that, guzzling go thing, the gas station hot dog with room temperature condiments? I mean, if you're going to bother to get something, might as well get the best. So on that one, rather than stand around perpetually identifying with the puke and pain thing, I just really wanted to honor the people that are going through this, that are newer to it. I'm new to it every time I'm introduced to a symptom or a feeling or a sensation that grabs me by surprise and weirds me out. I'm new to that. However, understanding the process that we're evolving and we're growing, we're going to have those growing pains. We're going to spontaneously vomit perhaps, or we're going to have diarrhea, or we're going to drool, or we're going to trip, or we're going to have memory loss, and we're going to have changes to our hair color, our eye color, our physical attributes sometimes. I mean, if I told you that I looked nothing like I looked 5 years ago, trust me when I tell you, it wasn't just about losing 300 pounds, about losing approximately 200 pounds. It has also been about that my physical structure has changed. I have different color eyes now. I used to have very dark brown eyes, and depending on lighting, etc., they're no longer dark brown. They're more of a hazel, and I didn't even notice that. That was something that my children said to me one day. They're like, Mom, your eyes have changed. And they have, because the ability to see outside through them to the outside changed. And I guess it just, as I was lightening up my view of the world, shit brown became hazel, in a different town. So it's been interesting to watch that physical transformation and not identify too heavily with that, because if I get wigged out that I got gray hair or that I'm missing a tooth or things like that, then I'm going to lose my mind and possibly not be paying attention whenever I need to really find out, why am I feeling like I want to throw up intensely right now. Some of it's the purge, the pain and purge of, yeah, we're ascending. Well, in order to ascend and grow, you gotta unload what you already know, and get to the next part. So, if you are getting your PhD of whatever, then you don't really need to hang on to that kindergarten graduation certificate. You've surpassed it by a long stretch. So that's where I like to go with it, is I want to make sure that if I'm going to bother to have all these symptoms and, embarrassing human symptoms at that, it isn't just a matter that I'm quietly in my mind going, sometimes I'm actually, like feeling like I have to vomit in the middle of a store or something. That's a little it's a little unseemly, and I have to find a way to duck and cover with grace. But that's a minimal amount. If I'm going to bother to have to deal with that kind of humiliation and then I might as well make that stuff work for me and figure out what's causing that intense reaction. And the minute I can back it up and get to that, it'll help considerably. Now, it's not going to take away, I still feel sick to my stomach. I mean, I just have to go and do my little heave routine and say, how can I use this? I'm going to be with my head here, and no, I didn't eat anything bad. No, I didn't. It's not my fault. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, what do you want to do about it? Well, while I'm busy upchucking, I'm going to say, I release and let go. I release and let go. I release and let go, and keep affirming and like, okay, then if I have lemons, then make lemonade kind of thing. Yeah, in the most intense monster fashion that I can ever imagine is not the time when I'm actively feeling sick and horrible and, subject to want to give up or just lie there and feel sorry for myself. And like, it's not going to help any to do that. I have done that, and I did the conclusive case study on it, is that it really doesn't help, and it helps considerably for me to at least attempt to help myself before I cry out to God or cry out to my team or cry out to anyone, to ask myself, what can I do to move this along, instead of just get to the point of I've been resisting, pushing, no, and now I've collapsed on the ground and I'm not really totally 100% ready to surrender, perhaps, and that's where I just said, okay, fine, I surrender to this process. If I'm going to be puking, I'm going to make it worth my time, that I release and let go, and since really just kind of shifting my perspective on that and my perception of how I'm going to tolerate having a vomit session, I mean, it's no fun to dry heave. It's just not. And so how can I use that I want to keep doing this, I don't want to keep doing this, and some of it, just gets tossed off with, you're gonna do some of that because you're purging, the sludge from 50 almost 4 years of living. There's quite a bit, and any baggage that you brought in that hasn't been released into the volcano yet, we're all carrying around that too. So purging the stuff that's unnecessary, I don't need to know that. I already did that kindergarten class. Well, I don't need to take that up to my PhD me class. I'm going to Divine University, then I'll take away what I needed to from every other understanding and pull into right now. We don't all carry the degrees and the books and everything else that took us to whatever degree we earned already. I don't carry around all my paramedic textbooks. I am one, and I just claim that and keep on moving. And if I decided to go to medical school, well, I'd bring all that knowledge and then go to medical school. Would be the next step, or park ranger, or whatever it is that I decided I wanted to do. So there isn't any one particular path that must be done a particular way. It's the method that we use to take a path. It's that paradigm that needs to change, not the actual steps, towards accomplishing your goal. That's between you and your divinity and your God experience, not you and me. That's between you and your thee. However, you have to know that you can do that. You have to know that that's okay to do, that it's even available to do, and that you want to do it. A lot of us, we get into that ego challenge because we just don't want to believe that some greater force is, in control of us. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that When I'm hurling my guts out, that's in control. And I'm not a victim to that. I'm going to work with that momentum of, oh, the quantum wave is we're going to purge. Then I'm going to use that the whole way and say, absolutely, if I'm going to be here doing it, then let's purge that the whole way. And start invoking and calling upon all of the ancestral knowledge that's here for me to discharge, alchemize, and remove, transform, and change all of that energy, that dead weight, that, molasses, real thick stuff. It's got to go. There's no time for it. So as we sludge out, what's there and detox, we have our spiritual detox, our emotional detox, our physical detox, financial detox. When we're detoxing, it really can't come as a surprise to me anymore that I'm going to have pain, I'm going to have sickness, I'm going to have, things. I don't expect that to show up. I'm not asking for it to show up. However, I'm being realistic about Fufu God doesn't come to my rescue, hasn't yet. That hasn't worked for me to, look for a more unicorn rosy view of how to deal with it. I have to deal with the fact that this is just what it is. Find a way to cope and use those resources in a way that are going to be more beneficial. So there's less time, doing those icky, things. However, when they come, they come. Roll with it and go, right? So on that note, to my friend on Snapchat, if you happen to be watching, I have a great deal of respect for you, young lady. You're very talented and got a lot to offer the world, and thank goodness that you offered your thoughts to me, because it made it very clear to me that, obviously I'm not the only one that experiences 1111, these symptoms. It isn't that, it's that there aren't enough of us that are willing to be honest about that, and our thoughts on, the origins of that and why, and, the deeper mysterious questions. So thank goodness to the millennial, or at least the millennial age, whatever's below 35, I don't remember what you call them, generation somebody but not me. They are fantastic. I love that age group, because they've got some very open, beautiful new ideas that the next wave of higher consciousness, it's being brought in all the time if we want to embrace it. And believe me, I want to embrace it. I listened to every word that she said and went, oh yeah, you're not alone. You're not alone. So on that, thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoy your sublime and enjoy your journey. And, on the days when you got to pull over and throw up a little bit, just, throw up. And, if I'm gonna bother to throw up too, I'm not going to be throwing up because it's a hangover. That's not enough fun. So, I'll find a good reason to, if I'm going to puke, find a reason for that, and then go find other things to do that would keep me from wanting to puke in excess with, an addiction that's keeping me stuck somewhere, worrying about the pain that I'm feeling. Let me just have this pill, this potion, this something, and just sit with it and get okay with it. This is the reality of my world at this moment, and I have the ability to change that, and nothing in the world is going to change at all until I recognize that alone, that I do have the power to change it. And then believing that not only do I have the power to change it, I can change it, I do change it, that sometimes it may seem like that's not a very good change. Like, oh, well, you changed it and you ruined it, you muffed it. And that's just absolutely not it. And that's kind of what I was sensing from this young woman, is that she felt like somehow, because of all the pain and what have you, that she wasn't, moving forward. And like, oh, that's the exact time that you can go, yeah, I'm in my PhD, me, man. I'm in pain, and then I've done something correct. And long-term pain, 1313, forget it. However, during known upgrade cycles and known lunar, solar, celestial body activity, it's a good time to say, yeah, I'm pretty banging. I'm right on track with my divinity and my spiritual unfolding of me, because that's a very common symptom, a common complaint, and a common experience for other people who are going through significant spiritual upgrades. So with that, good luck on your journey, and may you walk forward knowing more grace and more humility, more compassion for yourself, and more ability to really embrace who and what you are without apology, because that's something I really appreciate about this young woman, is she's unapologetically herself, and it makes it very difficult to want to do anything except say bravo, because there's too many fakers out there. So posers, no thanks. Take care of yourself. Enjoy your afternoon, your evening, your morning, whatever part of the day you're in. Get within, though, friend. Get within, because your juicy's inside. You're divine, totally fine. And they just need you to get in there and decide and say, hey, I'll be the one to determine which way we go for this project? Am I going to go this way, or this way? Am I going to lie down in this floor and succumb to, my stomach hurts and I hate this? Am I going to take this, run with it, and use those affirmations of, I'm releasing and letting go? Or do I, something else? There's more than just those two options. So there's millions of options in between, and the ones that upgrade us into feeling better, those are the ones I'm going to go with. The ones that leave me on the floor feeling helpless, no thanks. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.